This story has made worldwide news. It's all over my timeline. This particular story is like shocking news. Shocking. And, again, before I start, rest in peace to Mayor Nancy Bowen, known to those in her community, especially the Haitian community now, as Nancy Bowen. Now, this very high profile story in America, big thing, and it's a madness. I mean, how can this guy think they can just unalive this woman just like that? I mean, this is insanity. And when you look at the whole, the whole pictures of them together, videos, it's like a dream couple. So we need to know what happened here. So let me just get into it. Yeah, let me get into it, and I'll drop some of my usual. In fact, let me get into it, and I'll go to the Facebook comments and drop some of my usual critique as it is. But as it stands, as it stood, details emerged of the passing of Nancy Mathieu Bowen. Okay, it was the vice mayor. All right, so this woman was no ordinary woman. She was the vice mayor of her district. Okay, she was a high flyer. Okay, very highly ranked and esteemed in the Haitian community, especially the Haitian American community. Okay, this was an affluent, educated woman. Husband, well, according to the arrest report, her husband, Stephen Bowen, allegedly confessed to a family member that he shot his wife, that'd be Nancy, 3 times with a shotgun the night before her body was discovered. He reportedly admitted that after the shooting, he went downstairs and slept whilst her body remained upstairs. Oh gosh. Authorities say he later described wrapping her body in a comforter, placing garbage bags around her, and attempted to conceal the crime. Madness. And this is it. He told his uncle, I think he gave the uncle the gun as well. I told the uncle to hold on to the gun. From what I've read around this issue, he told his uncle that he couldn't take it anymore. Yeah? And he tried to pass the gun off to a relative, I think that was the same uncle, and asked them to hold it for him. Okay. The investigation reveals more evidence, apparently, that suggests an attempt to silence the weapon and damage the inside of the home, consistent with gunfire from within. Okay, bit ambiguous there. Police ultimately tracked and arrested Bowen, who now faces first-degree premeditated murder and tampering with evidence. He's also held without bond. Okay. Listen, this is a mad story. It's a mad story for a number of reasons. Right? Because as a couple, they seem all loved up. And this is what I'm saying to people. Look at some of these couples all loved up, skin in teeth, monkeying it up. No disrespect, but we've had enough. Okay? So they're grinning and grinning, fronting for the cameras, but really what happens behind the scenes is two different things. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay? And the sad thing is, the family also experienced the passing of her brother a very short while before this. Okay? So her brother, Donovan Joshua Leigh Mathia, passed away sadly after a series of mental health issues, took his own life. So let's look at this, So how can it be that this man now decides to take her life? Whatever it is, whatever the issue is, there's a lot more to look into this, So let me just go to the Facebook comments, and let's take this a little further, Okay. maybe that was her reality, okay? People assume that he was abusive or there were signs leading up to it. How many women are unalived while believing they were happily married while the husband was leading a double life? Good point. I mean, he could have been, lifting shirts on the side, dare I say it. He could have been GAY. What couldn't he take anymore? That's the big question they're asking. He could have been pretending with her the entire time and finally couldn't take it anymore. Exactly. Don't let social media posts fool you, because behind closed doors, they're going through hell. Exactly, I agree with that. I agree. Just because you couldn't take it anymore, you took her life. Nothing but a POS. Death penalty case in my view. Sad, scary, the person you are dating or about to marry will take your life. Exactly. And especially the case with a lot of these sisters. Again, you were told time and time again, look at the guy you're dating, and they'd see nothing of it. They're oblivious because they don't have that emotional intelligence. No disrespect. Intelligent in some ways, in other ways, lacking. And you see, this is a common theme now. Happens one time too many. You all need to stop saying the man was jealous. That wasn't jealous, that was envy. Okay? If there's a difference, we need to go into that. But here and now, it could be. A lot of you men are very shook and insecure men. And you compete not only with your women, but even compete with your kids as well. If your kid's coming up now, your kid's shining and doing well, going to university, could get a good job. Some of you N parents, some of you bigger parents, yeah, know what the N stands for. Some of you black folk, yeah, compete with your own children as well. But in this case, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Because all these guys are shook. So it wouldn't surprise me if the man was jealous of her success. I'm confused because they're in love. I'm confused because they look in love in their pictures. Again, I've addressed that. How it looks and how it is two different things. Especially with you all. Especially. There are always warning signs. You know what? That's true. But sometimes we override those warning signs. Whether because it feels good, which applies to most women. Whether we sometimes ignore the warning signs because the sex is good. Or she looks good. Or the body's good. The face is pretty. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. When you cannot take it anymore in a relationship, you end it. When you cannot take it anymore in a marriage, you seek a divorce. When you cannot take it anymore in a partnership, you terminate. But in no way can you justify pulling the trigger on your spouse. Exactly. I've got to be fair. Normally I come at women hard. But here, I've got to come with some of you weak ass ends too. Because you know what you are. You know what you are. Anyway, let me leave it there. Here, there's a good comment to prove my point. We have to teach emotional intelligence regulation in schools. Exactly. And it's a woman saying that as well. So, yeah, give me extra kudos for that. Okay. Very sad tale. And I might actually touch on this again. Because there's a lot of relationship dynamics which are very interesting here. But it is what it is. Later.